Yes, hello everybody, this is Ray from Race United and I'm back again. Now when you get into a gold mine and you start mining gold, right? You're mining the gold, right? You've got the gold, it's still in rocks. It gets refined by somebody eventually. Will you tell me that the gold you've mined belongs to only you? Somebody owns that particular land where the gold is being mined, the quarry, the mining plant, wherever. Somebody owns that, which means that particular income or particular proceed will be distributed amongst the people involved, which means proportionally somebody gains something. And of course, you're the miner, so you gain something as well. But in most cases, miners don't actually gain a lot when it comes to gold mining. I'm making this analogy with respect to pies being mined or pie being mined. Now, pie is being mined and it has to be refined. Therefore, we get rewarded. I beg your pardon. We get rewarded for mining pie. You get what I'm saying? So if I mine one pie, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get one pie. Do you understand me? I'm going to explain all of these, particularly the 100 billion maximum supply of pie. A lot of people are confused. I want to explain all of that. It will be in two parts. This first part, you're going to know. And then, of course, the second part will be on another day. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. This is Ray from Race United and you know how I do my things. Listen, I've got lots to do. You need to understand it. I'm not wearing my glasses, which means that I'm going to do a lot of things that you guys are going to understand. Now listen, I've tried to script this. It's not working. So I need to speak from, Race United's brain. Race United's brain. But anyway, on the 28th in the UK, on the 29th of December in Australia, Pi, Mainnet, albeit enclosed network, was actually launched. And when it was launched, some people read the newly revised white paper and realized, God, something has changed. They're going to give us, or they're going to supply 100 billion maximum supply of 100 billion pies. A lot of people just went to hell and it broke loose. Listen. That's not what it is. I'm going to explain everything to you and you're going to listen exactly what I tell you. I've read everything 3 times I have. And I'm still reading it because I want to understand it. And I do understand it. And I want to tell you exactly what everything means. Do you get me? So I don't want you getting confused. I don't want you listening to people that will clickbait you. That's another thing. Clickbait you and tell you 100 billion. That's worse for pie. They don't understand anything. They haven't read it because they want you to watch their YouTube. And so they're going to tell you that. I'm here to explain it to you. That's what I do. I don't care how many subscribers I lose or get out of this. Or what I care about is teamwork. And we're a team, not individuals. You understand? I wouldn't get to where I am with Pi without you or the people on my earning team or my security circle. It wouldn't happen. So I'm here to explain all of that to you, and that's why I can't do it in only one part. It's going to be in 2 parts. This part, I'm going to explain certain things that you're going to understand. And the second part is also going to be extremely interesting because after you've watched this, you can't wait for the second part. Trust me. You will never be able to wait. You'll be like, oh my God, I need the second part because it will be too long for me to explain. I don't want to do the 26-minute video I did with some other video I did the other time. I don't want that. I think when I did the 2 phases of Mainnet, I should have done the first part and the second part. It doesn't matter. I'm doing this right now and you're going to understand everything in the next segment. I will be right back. Alright, so I'm back. This is Ray from Racing. You know how I do it. Smash that like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, subscribe. And of course, You need to also share the content. Press the notification button. You will be the first to know. And that's what I do. Yes, let's continue. So listen, I wrote a few things on a piece of paper so I wouldn't forget, because I'm a human being. I can't forget. I can forget. So that's why I wrote on a piece of paper. But nothing is scripted. Everything is coming from my head. Listen, so Pi, they're telling us that we're going to get a maximum supply of 100 billion Pies. Now, this is where probably there's a misconstruing going on. Some people don't understand that we haven't reached 100 billion Pies. We haven't mined 100 billion Pies. You get what I'm saying? We've only mined approximately 30 billion. Approximately 30 billion. Out of which some are going to be burned and some will go back into the system where we would have to remine some of them, because some people might die. That's a fact. Some people might lose their account. That's a fact. Some people might have their Pies taken from them because they couldn't get their KYCs done on time within the 6-month grace period. That is a fact. You understand? So these things are going to happen. And when they estimated it, it could mean that we could have about 15 to 20 million or 10 to 15 million going into Mainnet. We'll get to all of that. However, what's happening here is, out of the 100 billion, now this I believe some of you know, you've watched my live shows, you've seen what I do, what I say, but maybe here when I explain it, you will listen, because it's not a live show where people will be asking questions and interfere and interrupt what I'm saying. So this is it. So out of the 100 billion, 80 billion, now remember, we've not mined that yet. We're still a gold mine. It's just an estimation. They hope we get to 100 billion, which we could get to, but we haven't got there yet. We're not even 50% through yet. You get what I'm saying? So out of that, 20% will go to the core team. Remember, it's their gold mine that we're mining, the explanation I made in the introduction. So 20% will go to the core team. And when 20% go to them, we get 80%. We are the miners. We get paid by the people that own the gold mine. We get rewarded for that. You get what I'm saying? So mining one Pi doesn't mean you get all one Pies. You're going to get some of it, but you're not going to get all of it. That's how it works. You will be rewarded based on your contribution to the network. You get what I'm saying? When they say contribution, it's not just mining for yourself, not inviting anybody, not having security circles to secure the network, not using the Pi apps. You need to do all of that to get all the rewards. I'll explain that in some other video someday. But right now, it's all about the 100 billion distribution. So we get 80 billion. Now, that 80 billion will also be redistributed in another proportion. You get what I'm saying? So here you have 65% of, the whole thing going to past and future miners, past and future pioneers. 65%. Of which, the 65%, we're going to have 20% which has already been mined. Sorry, 20 billion which has already been mined, and 45 billion which is yet to be mined during mainnet. You get what I'm saying? So right now, the only Pies we have are 20 billion, approximately. Remember that, approximately. 5 billion goes to the liquidity pool, which I'm going to explain in this video. And then 10 billion goes to the foundation reserve, which I'll explain in detail in this video. And then, of course, in the next video, which is the next part, I would explain the 20% and the 45%, which is, 20 billion and 45 billion Pies. Pies, which you guys need to know about. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to know about that. Understand it. So we do have a pre-mainnet and mainnet supply, that which I'll explain in the next part. And then, of course, the reasons will also be explained. Reasons why, the 100 billion was actually given as a cap for now. I'll explain that too in the next part. But in this part, you're going to understand the liquid pool reserve, which is the liquid pool reserve Pi allocation, and the foundation reserve Pi allocation. I'll explain that to you, and then you'll have to understand everything so that you don't go anywhere else for them to clickbait you and lure you into just watching. That's what they want. Watch. But with me, I want you to watch and understand and ask questions when I do my live shows. I will be right back. All right, so I'm back. This is Ray from Race United. Going straight to the point. Now listen. This is a very technical video, which I'm trying to break down to you. Technical videos are very difficult to break down. But what I'm trying to do here is to ensure that you understand everything on a basic level rather than me starting to use, even if I do read from here, I'll still explain it for you to understand in layman's terms so you understand exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to let you get into all the technicalities that other people do and try to use and just to confuse you, making it look like they're learned than that. I don't want that. You need to understand it basically, because trust me, if it has to be technical, I can be technical, but that's not why I'm here. I need you to understand. All right. So the main one, the first one I'm going to talk about out of those four. So we do have 4 community allocations. Obviously, we have the pre-mainnet rewards, of course. We have the mainnet rewards. Now, those two are explained that in the next part, which is part 2. This part, I'm going to explain the liquid pool reserve and the foundation reserve. So you'll understand exactly what they're about. Because trust me, if I don't explain that, guys, it's not going to be fun. But I know part 2 is also going to be extremely interesting because that's where you guys want to know. Because some of you are a bit, selfish. So you think about yourselves only. Some of you, just a few of you. So we want to know price of pi and all of that. I don't talk about price of pi anymore, but I talk about stuff that are mainly important in mainnet. All right, let me go straight to the point. So right now, we're talking about the liquid pool reserve. That will be allocated 5 billion. So in proportion, that's 5%. You get what I'm saying? So the way it is that let me put it simply. If you mine 10 pies, 10 pies, it means, if you mine 100 pies, it means 5 of your pies will go into the liquidity pool reserve, or liquidity pool reserve. Yeah, that's the name. It will go there. So if you mine 100 pies, 5 of it is going there. Hands down. So that's what it's about. Now, that 5% that goes there, so if we mine 100 billion, 5 billion is going into that reserve, the liquidity reserve. Now, somebody will ask, what's the meaning of that? Let me explain that to you. I'm going to read it, so I'll explain it. They said 5 billion pi will be reserved for liquidity pools to provide liquidity for any ecosystem participant, including pioneers and Pi app developers. So, if we don't have anything liquid for us, it means, so for instance, you have £100 in your $100 in your account. If you don't have money, saved or laying about so you can use for some other things, you're going to be in deep trouble. Then it means you have to dip into other parts of your money, which might not be viable. So the liquidity part means that you're able to do that. Now here, what it says is, liquidity is key for an ecosystem to be viable. You see the word I use, viable, active, and healthy. You need liquidities. In our case, we're using 5% of the 100 billion. 5% of the 100 billion, which we still don't have. We only have approximately 30 billion. And then, of course, if businesses or individuals want to participate in ecosystem activities, example, by selling and buying goods and services in Pi, they must have timely access to Pi. Without liquidity, the economy will not have a healthy flow of Pi, hence harming the creation of utilities. Now, a lot of people ask, what are utilities? That will be for another video. Like I said, I don't want to be too technical. I broke it down for you. The next segment, I'm going to talk about the foundation reserve Pi allocation. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. This is Ray from Race United. This is the final part before I go to the conclusion. Trust me, you're going to love this. Now, this is, if you're somebody that's selfless, if you're somebody that is charitable, if you're somebody that gives and gives and gives and doesn't take all the time, this is for you. Listen. So this, we donate or we give or we allocate 10 billion of the pies we might have eventually mined over a longer period of time to this allocation. Now that we call the foundation reserve pool. So the foundation reserve pool, 10 billion. Now in this case, if I'm using the 100 pi basic explanation, then what we're going to get is, if I mine 100 pi, 10 of those will go into this particular allocation. You understand? I distribute it to this particular allocation. Now, once it goes there, these are what we're going to be using it for. Let me read this to you because this is what's going to make you understand. 10 billion pie will be reserved for community organization and ecosystem building that will be, in the future, managed by a non-profit foundation. And what is a non-profit foundation? A charity organization. Something, a foundation that gives and gives and gives. Most decentralized networks or cryptocurrencies, even though they are decentralized, still need an organization to organize the community and set the future direction of the ecosystem. You understand? This is the most important part, trust me, of the whole thing. So you have, example, Ethereum and Stellar. Now, this is the Future Pi Foundation. So the Future Pi Foundation will, 1, organize and sponsor community events such as developer conventions, global online events, local community meetings, and so on and so forth. 2, organize volunteer and committee members and pay full-time employees who are dedicated to building the community and ecosystem. Again, you see, they're going to employ people. You need this pool to be able to pay them. You understand? In Pi, of course. 3, gather opinions and feedback from the community. Very important. 4, organize future community votings. See, all of these need some capital, and that will come from this pool. 5, build branding and protect the reputation of the network. 6, represent the network to interact with other business entities, including governments, traditional banks, and traditional enterprises. Or 7, fulfill any number of responsibilities for the betterness of the Pi community and ecosystem. You see, so all of these are so important. A lot of people will never understand why this is happening. So I'm trying to explain all of these to you so you know that 100 billion that was talked about is not 100 billion as you think it is. We haven't actually even mined 30 billion yet. It's approximately 30 billion, but it's under 30 billion. I will be right back. All right, so I'm back. This is Ray from Race United. Now, if you haven't already smashed that like button, you know I love my like button. Smash it. Don't forget. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet subscribed, because that helps us, of course. And then the notification. Anyway, let me continue. I've done all of that. So what you need to know is that what I've been able to do here is do a first part of trying to explain and divide the 100 billion so you would understand that 100 billion is not what's going on to Mainnet, and 100 billion is not what's going on to the exchange. I'm sorry, but most of you don't understand that. I'm trying to explain that to you so you'll understand. Not 100 billion. Don't let anybody tell you that ever again. Don't let anybody clickbait you. You understand what I'm saying? So first of all, what I told you was it's 100 billion maximum supply. We're not even 30 billion yet. Take my word for it. Out of that 100 billion, 80 billion goes to the Pi community. I'll divide that and you'll understand. 20 billion goes to the core team. But they haven't got even what? 6 billion yet. You get what I'm saying? They haven't got 6 billion yet. You get what I'm saying? When you check our blockchain explorer and see the distribution they've made, you'll understand what's happening. They gave us 3 different account numbers or public keys where they've distributed the pies. However, those are virtual. They're not real yet. That's what they're expecting to happen. It's not been mined yet. It's like a gold mine that we need to go there and mine them. And then, of course, when I did that, I told you that 65% past and future pioneers is what we're going to, 65% is what we're going to get, which is 65 billion. However, it will be subdivided into 2. You do have the pre-mined or the pre-mainnet pies, which is about 20 billion. And then 45 billion will be the mainnet pies, which have not yet been mined yet. That's the target. Remember that. That is the target. Okay. Everything is distributed evenly. Remember that it's distributed according to proportion. So if we're taking out 25% from our share, the core team would have to take out 25% from their share, and it's evenly distributed. So nobody cheats the other. You get what I'm saying? And then, of course, I went into the liquid pool, which I spoke a lot about and explained to you why we need that. You understand? And what did I say that we need? I told you we need a lot. You know, that is actually where we fund what we do when it comes to people trying to do stuff. So, for instance, if you want to buy goods and sell, we need liquid Pi. We need a reserve. And that's where this liquidity reserve pool comes into effect. And then, of course, finally, I spoke about the foundation reserve pool, which is a 45 allocation. Now this one does a lot. Obviously, I enlisted 7 of them, which I don't want to go through, but you do understand. If you don't understand it, play it back and go through again. That's what I've tried to do. Imagine doing this in 2 parts. It was going to be a very long video. So hey, let's be one happy family, and please look out for the part 2. Watch out for it. Part 2 of this will come very, very, very soon. And let's enjoy Mainnet. Let's understand things. If as at the time I release this video, KYC is here, then get your KYCs done. If not, let's anticipate KYC and ensure that everybody has their proper ID and get their KYCs done. First and foremost, make sure all of your members, your team, your earning team, and security circle are all verified. The name is Ray. The channel is Rays United. And the word is...